Okay, friend, we're gonna try this again while we wait for everybody else to join us. Rock and through it, guys. I can't believe I'm gonna say this whole greeting again. My word. Anyway, welcome to Woman Crush Wednesday. You are chilling with myself and Roz, and it's two beautiful ladies right up until now. From now till 7 o'clock this evening. Guys, there's like no sound, yes, we know. We were in silence. We were flagged in the first show.
Because we played incognito.
Because we played
my song.
Roz's song. So I don't know if we must blame Roz or what. But anyway, yes, cream soda.
Yes, Francine's in America. She can see me drinking cream soda.
Green drinks today. Right, so we're just going to wait a few more minutes for everybody who's backstage to walk in and join us, greet, and whatever, and then we are going to kick off our show this evening. We've got a full house tonight, guys, so please tag whoever you need to tag, bring them in, let's do our thing. They most probably kicked out from the last show. Marissa's driving, but she's here. And you're still commenting. Hey, you'd rather listen to the podcast later. But yes, everybody that's in, if you guys can just send a hello so we can greet you guys, even those that are hiding. You know, there's a lot of people that hide. But anyway, while we've got Mr. Nibbles here in the house, we would just like to send a huge shout out to hashtag Nibbles, who have fed us this evening.
As always.
As always, doing the things that need to be done on this Wednesday. Right, so, Roz, you can greet your people.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Why is my phone not updating, Tony? Because now I can't see everyone that's here, but I can see there's 17 people that side. Okay, so good evening to everybody. I see Sheridan. Hey, Francine. Hey, Sheridan. Hey, Shannon. I see there's a Marian Deckford in the stream. Good evening to you. Good evening, Maurice. Good evening, Eloise. Princey. Hi, Princey. Hi, Auntie Sybil. Hi, Auntie Vanessa. Who else do we have? Hi, Nasli. Okay, so guys, we know that people watch the show afterwards, so we're going to carry on with the show. So, today we have two lovely ladies in the show with us, and they are going to be telling us about a school called Graice Academy. Now, if some of you had seen my Facebook post, with the pandemic, there came lots of different terms to learning. So you had your contact learning, your distance learning, your homeschooling, and a lot of parents had to rethink schooling for their kids and what was best for their kids, especially with the shock of the pandemic and what had happened, and then we got part-time schooling. Some parents were homeschooling and teaching their kids at home and still working. So we actually just decided to focus on a school in the community that's for the difference. So it's not your regular mainstream school. So we're going to have a discussion with our two lovely ladies. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a minute, and then we're going to get right into the discussion. Okay, so who should we start with? Okay, so.
Okay, I'm Janine Manalia. I'm the principal and founder of Graice Academy in Newlands East.
Okay, I am Maurice Hudson. I'm an educator at Graice Academy in Newlands East.
Okay, so guys, can you tell me Graice Academy? Okay, so from the discussion that we had before the show, I had spoken to Mrs. Morelia, and she said that she has been a teacher for how many years? Like
over 30 years.
Over 30 years. Okay, and Mrs. Morelia taught in a mainstream school. I think if you taught in school in the community, so a lot of people will know you.
Everybody will
in
know
the community. So you are a familiar face.
That's right.
Okay, so obviously teaching is your passion,
Yes.
and you decided to open your own school. Can you tell us why? How did that come about? How did the idea come about?
Okay, I think teaching in a public school for so many years, I've always had a little bit of frustration with the limitations placed on an educator. I've been a head of department for over 10 years at Roseland Primary School, but I've always wanted to have my own school. It's been my dream, it's been a passion, and finally it is realized in Graice Academy.
Okay, so tell me, what is the difference in Graice Academy compared to the limitations that you faced in a public school?
Okay, at Graice Academy, our curriculum is exactly the same as what's being followed in the public schools, the CAPS curriculum, but I have introduced other subjects which in a way are part of the curriculum, but because of a lack of resources, we've been unable to implement in the public schools.
Okay.
Like baking, for example, computer lessons, our swimming lessons, and music lessons. So we realized that the child is, not all children rather, are academically inclined.
Okay.
And our vision is to develop the whole child.
Okay.
So we want to focus and give opportunities to learners who might be musically talented, creatively skilled, and so that's where we are, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, so when we were speaking earlier, we spoke about the different terms, because I asked you, is it a homeschooling? We spoke about homeschooling, we spoke about contact learning, we spoke about distance learning, and the term that you threw in there was a cottage school. So can you elaborate on the cottage school? Because I think a lot of us are familiar now with homeschooling. I mean, a lot of us had to do our homework with homeschooling, and then obviously with contact learning. But I haven't come across the term cottage school. So,
okay, even myself, in South Africa, actually, there's two types of schools. There's the private schools and public schools.
yes.
So when somebody ventures out and starts their own school, it would be an independent school, a private school, which has to be registered as well with the Department of Education.
Okay.
If it's a small school like the one I've started, and I'm using a residential premises to do it, it then becomes known as a cottage school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, homeschooling is when a parent keeps the child in their own home and teaches them themselves.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So it's not homeschooling, it's a cottage school. But we not mainstream, because when we spoke earlier, you spoke about there's some kids that have different abilities.
Yes.
So can you elaborate on your curriculum and how you adapt to each child?
Okay, Maurice will be able to add on as well on this.
Yeah, you're very quiet.
She needs to be brought in. Okay, yes. So we have found that a lot of the parents who have sought us out and brought their children to us have children who have some learning challenges. Some have physical challenges. Some have medical issues. And mainstream schooling does not cater for those kinds of children. So we've taken them in, and I've also been in charge of learner support at my previous school for many years. So I'm fully aware of inclusive education and White Paper 6 and things like that. So we have the opportunity now to address those issues, to sit with the children one-on-one with their problems. Those that have medical issues, we're more understanding, because we've got children with some serious issues like diabetes, like I said. There's another one with fecal loading, terms which I wasn't even familiar with before. But we're learning, and we're also learning how to deal with them, how to adapt. We've got 3 learners who've previously been on Ritalin. At the moment, the parents are not giving them the Ritalin, because I've also suggested that we would like to try to deal with the learner in their natural state. And obviously, if that is required, then we'll go that route. But yes, we call the learners out of the class. Our class, the most we have in grade 4, we've got 4 learners. That's our biggest class.
Oh my word!
Oh,
That's
man.
our biggest class.
4. So you got 4 students in the class.
4.
That it
Yes.
lists, yeah.
That's
in the
that-
grade.
Okay.
I can go through the whole school. We got 4 grade R's.
Okay.
Yes.
4 grade R's, where Maurice is the teacher. We've got 2 grade 2s.
3 grade 3s.
Okay, carry on.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's
4 grade 4s.
We've got
1 grade 5, 2 grade 6s, 2 grade 7s, 1 grade 8, 1 grade 9.
Oh my word! And do you have plans to get a grade 10, 11, and 12?
Not at the moment. It's more specialized, and then you require far more personnel, staff.
Hands-on.
Oh, okay.
Because then there's packages and streams, and right now there's 4 of us at the school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was managing the grade 4s to 9s on my own. I've got Melise with the grade R's, and then we don't have any grade 1s at the moment. And Drew is doing the grade 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
Drew's quite excited in our comments.
Yeah, no,
department.
she and Lauren. Lauren is our teacher assistant.
Oh,
there.
yes, our
She assists us, and Drew, so they are hype ladies.
Oh.
So they
You're pom-pom girl.
Oh, those
Yes.
are other two in the
The
picture
other
that
two,
below.
yes.
Okay.
And
Young,
and the
fresh
picture
blood.
is so proper for the type of
Personality.
school and personality and the message that we want to give out to the community and parents. School doesn't have to be stressful. You don't have to have anxiety about school. I've experienced this as a mother, having a child with anxiety. I've experienced as a teacher having anxiety, and I didn't even realize that I suffered from anxiety as a teacher. And when I found, because I found Graice Academy, basically it was God-given, I believe that. When I found Graice Academy and I had a conversation with Janine, which was my first time conversing with her, even though I knew of her, I was in. The vision she had, the attitude she had towards the children, towards the community, uplifting the community, and uplifting our children and giving our children the support that they need and deserve. And unfortunately, they can't get it from the public schools. I mean, I was a teacher in the public school for about 15 years. And as much as I wanted to do, there was limitations. Yes, there was limitations from the department, but there was also limitations within myself, within the parents, the children, and the classroom, and the environment that we were in. So fortunately for Newlands East, there is an environment now that is open up. We no longer have to find schools, and that was also my thoughts. I have children that are out of Newlands East that go to a school out of Newlands East because I couldn't find a school that I felt was sufficient and could cater for my child. My eldest daughter goes to a school that was on your show a few months ago, MDS. She was in a public school during primary school, which caused her to have anxiety. I didn't even know that she suffered from that. Put her into this environment, and I saw a change in my child. 360 degrees. She's confident. She knows who she is.
It's
amazing.
It's amazing.
You know, you're saying you saw a change in your child, right? He started in that remedial school to now. He's changed completely. He's independent. He can do things on his own. He's now willing. He knows about his abilities and differences, but he's willing to go out. Ask Tony, he would never greet before. He would never greet, he would never make eye contact. There were certain things that he could not do. But now, with the proper environment, he's learning to cope with social pressures. He's learning to cope in a social environment. And that's what we want for our kids.
And that's exactly what I see it and I feel it at Graice Academy, is that we are also trying to lure the children to deal with social issues on their own, trying to figure things out for themselves, because I also feel as parents, we spoon feed our kids so much. We want to solve each and every issue that they have, and that we are trying now to make it now you are responsible, you try and fix it. If it's impossible for you to fix it, then
You seek help.
we're here for support. So that's why we try now with our very best to have programs that are going to enhance their personalities. As Mrs. Marilia said, it's not only that we're dealing with the academic. Yes, it's important, but we need to deal with the holistic child. At the end of the day, that child needs to learn life skills. Swimming is a life skill. Something
100%.
that us as a community don't understand. It is a life skill. Something that we are supposed to have, we're supposed to be taught and know. It is a life skill. Something that unfortunately our schools cannot offer.
Yes.
Right? Music lessons. I've seen children, we've had 2 or 3 lessons so far. I've seen children with behavior issues flourish, and you can't, that child, when Uncle Des comes, they even know that Uncle Des, they can't, the anticipation to get that guitar. You know, when it's swimming, we have learners that don't want to go home. I have babies that cry when their parents come to take them home. When they don't come to school, they're crying to come to school.
Yes, I know. My son won't even allow me to pick him up early from school. He has to go to aftercare. Like, he will be absolutely upset. Like,
And
it's like, why did you come up? Why did you come early?
Yeah.
And you know, it's not to say, and I will not say that the public schools are bad and what that. I was the teacher. Janine was the teacher. We know the pressure. I feel it for my colleagues. I still call them in those public schools. It's a lot of demand on them. And now that all the children are back at school, I feel it for them. You know, the demand of the children. Because I always used to say, 47 children in my class. I've got 47 different personalities, 47 different families
100%.
that you have to deal with. You are one human being. You know, it's a lot.
Can you believe that you ladies were dealing with a class as big as that?
Like 50 in a class. It's
Yes.
And now we're playing with how many?
four in your class.
Well, in the school,
It's
like
in the school because even the
10,
first day of school, I felt odd because I didn't have the pressure and the anxiety because their first day of grade 1 is or grade odd is another level. But when you have children running in, morning, hello, you're like, okay,
Excited.
Not a tear. I've never experienced that. Not a single tear, and excited to be there because we had an orientation day as well, where they came in, they saw the school, they met the teacher, and obviously the pool is a giveaway.
Yeah.
So I think that it just changes everything. And what's so good about the system that we have now is that there's individualized teaching.
That was the next thing I wanted to speak about. Both of you, when I spoke to you, we spoke about the individual education plan. So I want to know, with the individual education plan, how does that work for each learner?
Okay, so basically I'll give you an example for now. The first time we do a baseline assessment.
Okay.
Baseline assessment is basically what the child should know. For instance, in grade 1, when the child enters grade 1, by now the child should be able to cut on a straight line, be able to write their names, be able to count from 1 to 10, identify numbers from 1. Not really identify, but be able to count. Identify letters and sounds of the alphabet. That's the baseline, right? If the child is unable to do that, obviously you have different levels of children. What should be done in the public school is where you do that a program for that child, right? To help that child develop that child, which will be done maybe so in the second term. Now we will make this program for this child, for the specific areas that this child is lacking in. And obviously you get the learner that's on par, then you have to carry on with the curriculum. But the individualization happens where you try to get that child on track or on par with the other children without intimidating the child or causing more anxiety. So probably, for instance, a child now can't think, has to have concrete. So if I tell the child, okay, I need number 1. Okay, they don't know number 1. Okay, give me 1 glass. I have to show the child 1 glass. So the child is learning concretely. And then you get children that learn abstract. You can tell them something, they can imagine it. Then you have a child that maybe, as I said, is a visual learner. So you can flash things in front of them, they'll remember. You get a child that's auditory. So a child that will latch onto music. Or a child where you can speak and they can remember things. They can remember songs. You get a learner that has to feel texture. So we have to cater for those types of children. So the learning also includes, it's not only written. Learning is not only written, it's also actually working with the apparatus, going out on field trips, seeing things. And that's one of the things that we lack also in our public schools, is that we don't have those opportunities or those resources to help those children. So when I say we do the remedial, you can call it remedial, or you can do the individualized teaching, it's not only paper. It could be that this child can't learn in that specific way for that level, but they can learn in this way. They can learn by holding the object, feeling the object, seeing the object. This child can learn by just hearing. But somehow we need to figure out as the educator which area or which one is, and that's supposed to happen. Like for instance, in a classroom for a child that has ADHD, you can't have too many things on the wall. That's distraction, right? So we were told that you need to remove things. But now in the public school, what happens to the child that needs those pictures?
Yes.
What happens? And more we're getting a case of children having ADHD. There's more and more children that are getting diagnosed.
More and more children getting diagnosed with the whole range of things.
It's
not
spectrums.
only
It's spectrums and
not only
spectrums.
ADHD. Some children have depression. Some children
yes,
have anxiety. Some children are autistic. Some children.
The spectrum. There's spectrums now.
Yes. So
And then in the classroom, you'll get the teacher saying, "Oh, this one is naughty. They don't listen. They can't sit still. They're stubborn." Maybe it's not that. Maybe the child is distracted, and that's what I've seen with Mrs. Marilla's class, and that's how well the school is organized, where there is a space for you that can't handle even 3 children in the class. You need time to yourself. There's a space for you. You can come out the class for a few minutes. There's a space for you.
That's what I was referring to when I spoke about some of the limitations we
Yeah.
had before. Because even in the public school, you had those 40 to 50 children, and never mind who misbehaved, you weren't allowed to send them out of the class because you were denying them their right to education. So there was lots of things that you just had to make do with. Now what we do, and we sit regularly, and we talk about the children amongst us, and we decide what we're going to do. And there's so-and-so, I'll say Jack. Jack has a problem concentrating. He's very slow with his work. We basically got our assistant, Lauren, who sits, she takes him aside and she sits with him and she goes through the questions with him. And you understand what I'm saying? Which, while the other are carrying on with their work.
Okay.
Because they're able to, because they can focus and so on. So that's the individualized tuition. And then we also realized that sometimes the session in the class is too long. Some children are
their attention
saturated
span.
after an hour,
Yeah.
and here you are trying to push more knowledge into their heads, and you frustrate yourself. The child can't, they're unable to. So take a walk around, boy. Go take a walk around the school, just chill for a
Gather
few
your
minutes.
thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come back,
Time
go
out.
sit. We've got a section where we have a library, we've got nice tub chairs. Go sit there, take a book and just read. And we'll come back to you just now. You can join the class a little bit later.
And that's what the curriculum also confines us to time.
Yeah.
There's no time to go back and to
We're not
collect.
following those things.
We are following you.
Okay.
What's gonna help you? But we're gonna get to that curriculum.
We'll
We're gonna
get through
produce it. But how are you learning? Because that's the thing. Everybody learns differently. And we had a discussion about it today that in the public school, it's only directed for one type of learner.
Yes.
It's only for one type of learner. There's no differentiation. Even though that we are told as educators to have differentiation in our classrooms, it's quite impossible when we have
Practically.
deadlines, guidelines, strict guidelines to stick to. We got data to capture, we got marks to put in, we got dates to, we have to follow those dates to the T. But what happens to that child?
Okay, so guys, I can sit here and just listen to you guys talking, because as I'm sitting, I'm watching Tony's smiling.
Yeah,
Because she's thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. This is like a lot of passion in my
Yes,
voice.
yes.
This
First
is
thing,
like
and I actually wanted to say, you can
bursting
see
with passion.
that you guys are passionate about what you guys bring to the table, how you guys are going to
Our school motto
Help.
is passionate about purpose.
Thank you. Guys, like you're both so passionate about this. And the reason why I can identify with a lot of the things you are saying is obviously because I have an autistic kid. So having an autistic kid, you do a lot of research. You research a lot of schools. You research a lot of stuff that got to do with his condition. And a lot of the things that you're saying, like you said, you can call it remedial, you can call it whatever you want to
Anything.
call it. But it's just teaching the child in an environment that the child can learn.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. So we spoke earlier about the list of extramural activities that you guys offer.
Okay.
Can you just take us through that list? Because you offer quite a few things. Like Tony and I have been trying to find a place to play, to learn an instrument, and
Okay.
Guys are right here.
you guys, you guys found
Graice.
someone. So like,
Graice.
we always say, no, Tony wants to learn to play the drums.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as an aside, there is a music school in Newlands East.
I know.
Yeah.
We've actually contacted them.
CJ,
Yes.
Cuban Fairs.
Yes,
Yes.
there is.
Okay, our curriculum includes music, as you're saying. We have Uncle Des Grief. He's an ardent musician. He's a pastor at one of the local churches in Newlands East, and so every second week now, every fortnight, for an hour, he comes out, and like Maurice explained earlier, the children are so excited. 3 of them have guitars that
Yes.
they bring to school, and they just stay at school. They don't even take them back home.
Oh.
Yeah.
In between the lessons, they're strumming, and he's already noticed that some of them
Have the
are
ability.
gifted in that area.
Okay.
Yes, so, and then his wife, Auntie Pearlie, comes and she does some baking lessons for us, also
Okay.
once every fortnight. So she'll be teaching them hygiene in the kitchen, safety in the kitchen. She's taught them how to make Play-Doh.
Oh.
They've iced their own cupcakes last week. So next week when she comes, I think they're going to make a salad.
Yeah.
So it's not just baking, but it's more kitchen etiquette, that type of thing. The children are really excited, and they do the whole group from grade R to 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the way the house is arranged, it's open plan, the kitchen and dining room at the counter, so she tells us what we're doing, and then every week we just make sure we set it up and prepare
Oh,
for
that
it
is
to come.
awesome.
Yeah. And then we also do the swimming lessons on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At school, we really don't have a qualified coach at the moment, but we're watching YouTube videos and we're teaching the children, and then we've got a parent now, Morel Pujan. Her daughter's at our school. So she's coming, and she's offered on a Friday to come and assist us with the swimming lessons as
Oh,
well.
that's awesome.
Yes, we've got a lot of community support, I must say.
Yeah.
Like we said, Mrs. Conning, who was the deputy principal at Ferndale,
Mm-hmm.
she's a close friend of both of us. So next week she's coming to do a workshop on bullying with the children.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome.
Right, so I've got a comment, guys. Francine says, what a beautiful gift you are bringing to the community and to the children who can so easily slip through the cracks in the education system. I was a school director for years and coached the teachers to find the child. Not all children learn the same. Sounds like you find the children and they will gain confidence and flourish. You are making a huge difference.
Oh,
Huge,
thank you.
A huge.
Thank you,
difference.
Fran.
Okay, so how long is your school day? Because you're incorporating swimming into your school day, you're incorporating baking into your school day, you're incorporating music into your school day. So what is a regular Monday to Thursday? Wait, Fridays is always the early day, right?
early day,
Yeah.
So a Monday to Thursday, what is your regular hours? And do you offer aftercare?
Well, but the aftercare, not at the moment. We're quite taken up with what we have to do in the
Everything.
day.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't do aftercare. Maybe later we'll talk. We do have extra lessons on a Saturday though,
Okay.
That's offered.
and swimming lessons we offer to the community on a Saturday as well.
Okay.
Right, but our day starts at 8:30,
Okay.
and the little ones finish at 1, and the older children at 2. So
Okay.
it's a slightly shorter day, but because we have fewer children, we're able to
Yes.
accomplish a lot more within that time.
Okay, so can we just pick a day? Monday. Can you take us through a Monday? You start at 8:30. Do you have assembly?
Yes,
Do you have-
that's our assembly
to us.
day. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, so on Monday we try and start a bit early, like at 8:20, so we can meet and just welcome each other. The foundation obviously is Graice and Graice's court. So we try as much as possible to incorporate those values. It's godly based. So we will pray in the morning. We do pray in our classes every morning. But on that day, we meet in our library area. There's no formality where they have to line up and shortest to tallest.
Oh,
No.
Nothing at
It's
all.
a relaxed, calm environment. We want you to, as Auntie Janine would say, they must enjoy the school. It's their school. They must enjoy the environment.
They
sit in there. We stand
lounge
sometimes as the
furniture.
teachers, and they sit. Because
with
it's their
the small
school.
child and the bigger child's lap.
The small ones go
They
and
just-
sit. So we'll have a prayer. We'll have maybe a discussion about behavior, about the past week and what we expect for this week. We try as much as possible to give the bigger ones some responsibility. Last week we had prefect interviews.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Where we had the older kids come in and dress for interview. Life skills.
Made them dress up as
We
well.
made them dress up, and some of them went shopping. They got their high heels and their boots, and they needed to tell us why. Strengths, weaknesses, similar to what you have in the interview. And they came in and they had to explain to us why they think they would be a good prefect. We had that interview. So, but on a Monday, we start our lessons from 8:30. Our first break is a 30-minute break where they just eat and relax a bit. We've got a nice little lounge area now where we've used recyclable pallets.
Pellet furniture.
We got
We're very big on recycling.
very big where the kids decorated it, hand
So they
prints.
painted it.
Yes, they painted it, they made it their own. It's their furniture, so they have to look after it because it's theirs. So they have their break about 10 to 11, and then we continue with lessons. The smaller ones go at 1 o'clock, and then the older ones stay until 2. But we have our baking and our music every fortnight. So on that fortnight, when the baking and music is over, that's when we normally do our creative art activities, because we do those activities because of time. That we don't use it we use like the main English, Maths, Afrikaans. We have isiZulu that's also offered.
Yes.
She also comes in every fortnight as well and does isiZulu. So we've got 3 languages as well. So we have from 8 to 2 on a Monday to Thursday. So Mrs. Marelia sees to the senior phase, intermediate to senior phase. She does all her lessons, her timetable goes according with her lessons for the day. Then on a Friday, we have swimming for the smaller ones from 11:30 to 12:30. Okay, so the first 30 minutes of the swimming lesson is safety. We exercise, we do for instance, now the bigger grades are doing breathing exercises. With mine, I'm just making them feel comfortable and safe in the water. Then the last 30 to 20 minutes is free activity play. Where now we also get into the water. So there's hair done only after Friday. Yeah, so we're swimming with the kids as well on a Friday, and then a topless one for the bigger kids. So we try as much as possible. We have lots of days that we observe. For instance, the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, we had the tutu tacky tie day where you came dressed in that. But on Monday, we specifically said there is no activities. We're just dressing up to observe that day, but we have to keep to the normal program. We've had Valentine's Day activities. We've had a pool day party. So there was a lot of fun activities, but we try to keep the curriculum on par as far as possible. But that happens, and then obviously in the foundation phase, they leave at 1 o'clock every day. But sometimes they don't want to go home, so the parents have to come at 1:30, sometimes 2 o'clock to pick them up, and they don't want to go home. Yeah. So, and we've got a play area for the grade odd where they can do their large motor skill development. We've got quite a few things there for them. But we're gonna get to the netball.
Potentially you
the
get
ball skills.
Ball skills.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that. Smiles all around.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, you said that you get a lot of support from the community, which is absolutely awesome. And you said that all the kids in your school for now are from the community.
Yes.
So, how did those
Did you not
parents
hear the
find
introduction
out?
from Newland's East? Like I felt these guys are proud. They are
Very proud.
This is
Very proud.
this is our section, and we are here to cater to the community.
It's so awesome. How did these guys find you? Did you just Did you like just put it out there, word
I
of
think
mouth?
Facebook.
We advertised on Facebook. We put
Yeah.
out a few flyers on Facebook. What
And
else
word
did
of
we do?
mouth.
I made a few flyers, but we've not going around giving them out.
No, I think it's also
It's
word
been
of
word of
mouth.
mouth, and I think not
The
to boast,
demand.
but our reputations have brought the people.
Yeah.
Oh, but also there's a huge demand. There
Yes.
is a huge demand. I mean,
Yes.
last year when we spoke to one of our friends, she had a problem finding a school for her son because her son was non-verbal.
Okay.
So nobody wanted to take him. And I know of a lot of parents that phone me and say, you know what, I know your child is autistic. I've recently got a diagnosis and I don't know what to do after that. Like, where do I take my child? Like, what school does your child go to? And you have to try and say to them, no, my child goes to that school because there was a school that the psychologist had
Referred.
actually referred.
Yes.
So, my child does have autism, but it doesn't mean because your child has autism that school
school
will be
is
the right
definitely
fit for your
yeah.
child.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
there's a huge demand for schools like this because I had the problem with one school wouldn't take my child because his IQ was too high, and they felt that if they took him, then they wouldn't be. He wouldn't be learning at their school.
Okay.
And then Brown said no, they can't take. Brown's was not an option because he's on the spectrum, but he's not too much on the spectrum.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's like always like an in
Not
between.
good enough. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's very, very, very hard to
All the
once
special
you get.
schools are, they for different children.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to find a fit.
That's
It's
right.
very, very hard to find a fit. And sometimes it's a temporary thing.
Yes.
So like
Majority.
Livingston,
Yes.
like Livingston.
Majority
yes,
of
it's
the
a
time.
temporary. So I had this huge fear for most of last year. That's okay. He's only allowed 2 years in that school, and after the 2 years, they're going to tell me I need to find another school. And
Okay.
I was saying to Tony, he can't go to a mainstream school. So the only other school is a private school, and I don't have private school money.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
well, what am I going to do? But luckily, because he's on the spectrum, and it's not a learning disability that can be corrected,
Okay.
they are
Okay.
taking him on, but they only go up to grade. I think it's grade 7. Grade
Oh,
6,
okay.
grade 7.
Okay.
So then I'd obviously have to find another school for high
school.
school. But this is a problem that we have in South Africa. The demand
It's high.
is high. The demand is very high.
I
for
think
kids.
now when you talk about a child going back into mainstream, that is only possible if it is identified early enough. We've had a lot of issues where children are grade 6, grade 7, and only then they realize the child can't read, the child can't write, because the child obviously it hasn't been picked up. So the earlier you pick it up, the better.
Yes.
For the child now to come back, probably in grade, if you pick it up, say grade 1, probably in the intermediate phase, the child can
Yes,
come
grade
back. So
4,
grade 4,
5.
grade 5. But again, it's difficult for a teacher that's teaching 47.
Yes,
It's difficult.
I must admit, I think putting a child in an environment like that and then saying, okay, you're okay now, and putting them back in mainstream, I just feel like
Traumatic.
that's more traumatic than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, it is scary.
I feel that is, I as a parent, I had anxiety before he was even there, I even knew that, okay, but I knew there's going to be a point that's going to come where they're going to say to me, your child needs to go back into mainstream. And I had anxiety. And like that this day is going to come. It's absolutely terrible.
Because
It's
you're
absolutely
comfortable, then he's comfortable.
Yes.
And you're assured now that he's happy and he is flourishing. So he may not in the mainstream.
I think that's the most important thing, and what's come back from a lot of our parents is that the children were unhappy in the schools they were at.
Yeah.
They were being bullied, they were being teased for one thing or the other. When anybody's different, most children especially, they can't relate, so they tend to pick on those children, victimize them and so on. But they've actually commented that the children are very happy, extremely happy.
Too happy.
They look forward. The one father even said, my children are too happy in your school. Are they learning anything? considering you're complaining that they're too happy.
But that's the thing. Education shouldn't be. You shouldn't be anxious. You shouldn't be stressed out. Learning should be fun.
It should.
Learning should be a good experience. But the way things are made and the situation that we are in our departments and
Country
and
system,
system, it is what it is. But not so anymore. Because if you have the passion and the desire and the courage, I feel. Because I also have a passion one day. That was to open a school, but I've never had the courage to do it. And, that's why I say she's really strong.
There's a time and a season for
absolutely. And I just feel like, why not Newlands East? Why not our children? Why must our children always be disadvantaged? Why must we just accept the norm? I understand finances are an issue. I do get it. I understand it. But parents have the resources to help their children. There's Google. You have an issue, you see your child can't read, there's an issue, your child is not able to spell words or whatever. There is ways for you to try and help. If you can't get your child to Graice Academy, if you can't get your child to a school that can do what they help, they always ask, Google. The thing is, the problem that we are having is that we are not educating ourselves on the important things, and that is our children's education. That is our children's difficulties. You can see that your child doesn't want to go to school, tummy stool. Oh, it's test day today. Oh my gosh, I can't deal. You can see there's something wrong. Oh, you naughty. Oh, you must just go. You get that from the parents, but there could be an issue. So at Graice Academy, we have picked up things, we have identified things, and that's why, for instance, we're bringing this bullying workshop for the learners. And maybe even one day for the parents. Because that's where it's picked up, So, as I said, Graice Academy is also personality enhancing. We're taking what you have and building self-esteem, making confident young ladies and young boys. We have a little student there, and I said I'm so impressed with her. She's in grade 4, and I watched her yesterday, and she took, even though it's COVID, yes, I understand, but she took the little boy and she shook his hand, classmates, and she said, have a nice day, I'll see you. Have a nice day. And she walked out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so heavenly, to see the confidence, because a normal little girl will just put her head down and just walk out. She went and she shook, have a nice day, have a nice day, and she left. And I'm like, yes, that is what we want. Why? We can do it. We can have those types of children. It's just that we just need the proper resources, which Graice Academy has.
Also, the communication needs to be open as well. Like, it's no use you guys are doing 80% of the work, and then they go back into a home environment where you're not on par. Like, the parents are doing the complete opposites, and then if the kid is like 5 steps back the next day.
Absolutely.
We don't understand how our parents play a huge part.
But like most of the schools say, teaching is a three-way thing.
Oh yes,
it's the teacher, it's the parents, and it's the child.
Don't understand that, Roseanne.
You have to have
if my child can't read, that's not my problem. That's the teacher's problem. The teacher's not doing their work. Why does child can't count to 10 and she's 12?
And why are they sending so much homework home? Don't they? You're not working in class.
Hey guys, Tony.
That's true.
Tony.
As the teacher's not doing work, why is she sending all these pages?
No. Tony. From the time Tony knows me, I've been coming home and doing homework with my son. Right? From the time she knows me. She herself used to say, how much homework does this child get? Because they get a lot of homework. And you have to do it. And the thing is, you have to sign for everything that you've done. And if you don't sign for everything that you've done, when they go back, they get into trouble at school. So now you've got the child saying, I have to do this, I have to do this. It's a three-way thing.
And they understand. Teacher, we didn't do homework last night. My parents
My mother was tired.
My mother was doing eyelashes. mother was doing eyelashes. It happened to me.
Yeah.
My mother was doing eyelashes.
No,
The
my
teacher
mother
even
was
asked
busy.
me, "Are you a beautician?" I'm like,
No, the children are very
Yeah.
honest.
Oh,
One of
yes.
them, he didn't come to school, and I said, "What happens? Why were you absent?" He said, "My mom sleeps in."
"Oh, okay."
Brutally honest sometimes.
Brutally honest. I always would tell my parents, watch what you say because I heard it in news the next day.
Yes.
And word for word, sometimes do, okay, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, next. Okay, thank you, next, thank you. Even when it was the looting, I knew who, when, what,
What's
how
up,
much, like,
how much,
and it was
yeah.
like, too
We got a new fridge.
Nice, yes. Oh, Auntie
bicycles.
we got bicycles. And Auntie so got this. And I'm like, okay, wait. Keep that information to yourself. But yes, I would say to my parents in the beginning of the year, and if they are watching, they would remember this. The relationship is the triangle is the strongest shape. It's a triangle. The child's on top, and it's the teacher and the parents. And we work together to
For the
keep
child.
that child on
100%.
top.
Yeah, I know. But it was a lot. It was a lot. I almost died during the 21 days of lockdown. That when the school had their prize giving, the principal knighted us all as teachers because
You're full of gas.
because you can all bow now. I'm going to knight you all. You're all teachers now. It's like, you're only now. Almost had a nervous breakdown.
Okay, so we got a Carol Dickens in the comments department. She is asking about the fee structure, and is all activities inclusive of yours price? Can they message you or
Yeah,
how,
so what we will do is at the end of the show, we'll put all the details on, and you can actually just contact them individually for for the prices. But you did mention that all those activities were
Are included.
inclusive.
Guys, can you believe it is 5:27?
Oh my
We've
gosh.
got 5 minutes left of the show this evening. Bradley says, doing my child's homework for them or with them. Lol. Okay, see, Anne says, my mother used to say, this isn't her job. She pays my school fees.
Yes, here we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
100%.
Guys,
Okay.
I do high frequency. Like, my son's been doing high frequency for the past 3 years. So I have to time him. So they've got worksheets of words, right? And then they start off on page 1. There's 100 words, and he's got 1 minute to say all those 100 words.
Wow. His
Okay.
level of reading is.
So then, no, but why don't all schools do that?
Honestly, some schools can't get there. The reading is it's another show, guys.
Yeah,
To be honest,
there's high
It's-
frequency. Well,
That's another show.
That
yeah.
is definitely that's something.
Part
Jude's
two.
problem. That was Jude's problem
Yeah.
because he's maths orientated.
Okay.
English was boring for him.
Okay.
And he didn't want to learn about ABC when you could tell you why you can float in the Dead Sea.
Okay.
So he went absolutely blank when it came to English. He didn't want to read. And the moment he saw a whole lot of words on the page, then he didn't want to read. But now, because of the high frequency and because of the constant reading, we get a lot of reading, he is now on par. And it's like, awesome. It's amazing that he can go through those worksheets in a minute.
Now you can
in
read
under the
and
minute.
put a whole Lego thing together and watch something and do.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does a hell of
He's a
a lot.
multitasker.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we are gonna say goodnight to you. Yes, I've got a question, ladies.
Oh,
Oh,
you-
is this the two
I actually had
questions?
2 questions, but
Is
you
this
had,
the two questions?
you had already spoke about grace and the meaning and the
Okay.
name and stuff like that. So I wanted to know how
Okay,
did you
it's
guys come about the name for your school, and you guys got puzzle pieces in your logo. Symbolizes something. What does it mean to you, ladies? Talk to us.
Okay. The grace actually, yes, the word grace is very important. But I came about the word grace because I had another name for the school, which when I wanted to register, it was already taken. It was Bright Sparks, I think. Yes. And so I had to come up with another name. And so I was in a bit of a panic. But then I took the initials of my children and my grandchildren's names.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
shucks me.
This is awesome!
Hey, you're like really like
They're really passionate. This is like really what
Wow,
I'm cut out
guys.
for.
That's why the Graice has an I in it.
I thought I saw that
I was also
because
trying to
I
figure
was
out. I
trying
was
to
Googling
find it on Facebook and I couldn't find it.
Because you spelled it wrong.
And only after you sent I said, oh, there's an I in it. I actually wondered about that. I'm so happy Tony asked the question. And the puzzle pieces?
Because we're developing the whole child.
Oh,
So
okay.
every aspect of the child, emotionally, physically,
Oh, it's
psychologically.
different color for
So the
every.
puzzle pieces. My daughter and I came up with the logo together, and so it just
That's awesome.
worked.
That is
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
Okay, so guys, what we're going to do is we are going to post all the details on our Facebook page, and if you have any
With our
questions,
selfie?
with our selfie. Oh, we're taking a selfie.
Yes.
If you have any questions, then all the details will be on the Facebook page, and you are welcome to contact the two lovely ladies directly.
All right, so from the fan zone, thank you so much, ladies, for coming through,
thank you.
for sharing your passionate love and show. Like my ear was standing throughout my whole body. You can see that you guys, this is really what you guys are made for.
I am just so excited that there's a school like this in Newland East.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
if this was 4 years ago, I really searched. Ask Tony, because the school that my son was in Pinetown, and I was thinking, transport, how am I going to get there? So then you start thinking, okay, this school is close to this school, maybe if I find a school in this area, then I'll have transport. It's in the community. It's like
On your
literally in the community.
Okay, Bradley, I don't know if you're late for the early show, but Bradley says if you can get the kids to do music and drama lessons, this helps with learning. Okay, we've already got music involved, drama.
I'm drama.
Maurice is a drama.
There you
So
go.
it's
It's there.
it's there.
It's there.
Okay, so from our side, we wish you guys everything of the best.
Thank you so
Did you
much.
guys only start this year?
Yes.
Sure.
Brand
You
new.
guys,
Brand new.
brand
I
spanking
love
new.
And the
proud
This
kids
is like
is-
an uncut interview. Uncut. Hey?
And the kids don't want to go home. They're like just starting.
Yeah, no.
And they've already seen progress. Like, I am just.
Yeah, and we got. When did you guys open school?
The first day
On
of
the
school.
19th of January.
19th of Jan. So look at that, just over a month.
Hey, can I ask a question, Chris?
Yes, you may.
Is there a uniform?
Yes.
Yes, there is. Let me just say my
Tell us the
surprise.
joke, ladies.
I have a family member living in Cape Town. When she found out about my school, offered to assist. Unfortunately, she hasn't come through as
Okay.
yet. But there's constant promises, so it's like a bit of a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Okay, so
do
you
you
don't have
guys
a uniform?
want
We do have a
uniforms?
uniform.
We do.
You need a
She's
princess.
given us
She
a
sent the
sample.
sample.
She's given us a sample of the uniform. It's hanging.
There's some kind of blockage with the courier service, with the rest of the stuff getting here, and she's even promised right now
Another
that
batch.
she's making a new batch.
Oh.
So that's where we are. Yeah, but and like I'm saying,
I can't wait to see the uniform.
Yeah.
I'm dying to
It's
see.
amazing.
it's orange and grey.
It's
That's
orange
the
and
school
grey.
I actually want to
colours.
go and see the
I
school.
also
I
want to
thought
go
you guys
into
were
the school.
coming.
Come.
I know,
We
but I
wanted
was
to,
sure.
yes,
It's
but,
a-
but
but
we
you'll
have
need
to
to
take
come.
all of this. No, we are
Yes.
going to come.
Yes.
Well, Coach Tony.
Well,
Yes,
Tony.
yes.
And
But
we
we
got-
must say also that I've even encouraged all the people around us who've shown an interest to come and have a look at the school whenever they would like to. People that live close by, take a walk. Don't be shy. It's part of the community.
It's
We-
for the community.
Tony and I walk like up there. That's our route.
Okay.
So we walk to Shoprite and back. We try and do it
Okay.
as often as we can in the week. So after work, straight after work, put on our run, walking stuff, and we walk to Shoprite and back. And as we are walking on Marble Day, we are trying to figure out which house.
now we're like 60 watts, 60 watts, 60 watts. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it?
But
And
we're also
then-
getting the signage,
Yeah.
sorting out the signage.
That
as well.
house that has the security. That
Oh,
house
yes,
was
Next door.
yes,
Yes,
that
now we
house
were
was the
confused.
bush was all overgrown, and every time Tony and I walk past the house, we always used to say, "Does someone live here? Does someone live here?"
Yeah.
There was an old lady living there, and she passed away recently.
Oh my word! And
Yeah.
they cut now the
Yeah.
grass
Now
and
you
there's
can
a
see what's-
security guard.
And
I
she was
mean-
a bit of a recluse. She wouldn't take help from anybody. She was just on her own. She didn't mix with anyone.
My word. And so, remember we always questioned when we walked past that house.
You couldn't really see anything. Right, guys, it's 7 o'clock. We need to eat our nibbles and drink our things, so we are going to say goodnight to you. We are going to take a selfie after the show, and we're going to post all Graice Academy's details, contact numbers, so you guys can check them out. Please share the stream far and wide. Guys, let us get this message across that there is a Graice Academy in Newlands East. You need a drum roll actually for that. In Newlands East, guys, one of a kind. And we just
Candace, you can come.
Proud, actually, so like.
Yes, I am.
Okay? Like,
no, I'm just taken up by the passion. I was like, shoo, you are bubbling with passion.
So yes, that is us. We are out. Good night, everybody, and thank you guys so much. If we missed any comments, we will encourage you ladies to, when you guys have some time, just to go through the stream, because some of the comments don't show on our phones. You'll most probably get it later. And we will catch you guys on Sunday.